Hey yo, this is Martin from bigboyplants.com and welcome back to our YouTube channel. See, here I am with my zebra plant, also known as Aphelandra Squarrosa, and I got this plant a few months ago, and boy, it has already brought tons of learnings, which is exactly what I want as a new plant enthusiast. From its blooming period to battling pests, I needed to learn a great deal about this plant and how to take care of it as soon as I could. So I invested a lot of time, I researched a lot, and that's why I decided to share what I have learned so far, both from research and experience. Stay tuned. What has worked for me so far to take care of my zebra plant can be summed up into the following suggestions. Water. Only water it when you notice that its soil is getting dry. Avoid overwatering and sogginess in the soil. Secondly, grow it in temperatures above 60 Fahrenheit, that's about 15 Celsius degrees. These plants prefer indirect light. Do not expose them to direct sunlight for long periods of time. That's it. Nah, I'm just kidding. Although these basic guidelines should be enough, you might have other questions in mind. For instance, when and how often do they bloom? Or like me, probably you want to find out what to do in case the pest appears. So let's jump into the details. Okay, let's talk about watering. The key indicator to know how often and how much should you water your zebra plant is by looking at its soil. Water only if you notice that the soil is drying out. The main goal here is to keep it moist as long as you can, as this is the ideal condition to help the plant to grow healthily. But balance is key. On the other hand, the zebra plant will start stressing and dropping its leaves if you let its soil dry out completely. On the other hand, you should avoid overwatering at all costs, since it can quickly put the plant at risk of root rot. This is why it is necessary to develop proper sensitivity and learn the right water frequency for your plant. Of course, ours are general guidelines, which will vary depending on the temperature, warmth, and dryness of your plant. So, zebra plants prefer indirect bright light. As a rule of thumb, if you keep it indoors, you shouldn't have any problem regarding light. Just make sure not to place it in a bathroom or somewhere dark. As we will discuss later, light is key to promote healthy blooming in a zebra plant. On the flip side, if you keep it outdoors, be mindful of direct sunlight exposure as it can cause the leaves to scorch. High humidity is recommended for zebra plants. These type of plants need high humidity to thrive. Most experts agree that a 70% humidity level is the sweet spot. To be honest, I personally haven't measured the humidity at home, but I do live in a hot and humid city. Regardless of this, I like to go the extra mile with my zebra plant, so I mist its leaves with water every other day, like this. If you want to do this, go ahead and spray it. They will tolerate as much misting as you can give. Just keep in mind to avoid sunlight exposure, since there's small levels of salt water on its leaves. This can create a magnifying glass effect that could potentially burn the foliage. As mentioned before, these species show a strong preference for warm temperatures. Keep in mind a South American Amazon for reference, plus high humidity conditions. And be mindful to take extra precautions during the winter, as they won't be able to stand cold drafts or frost. Now let's talk about other frequently asked questions regarding zebra plants. What is the best soil mix for a zebra plant? Zebra plants will thrive with moist soil that has excellent drainage properties as well. Therefore, you should seek for an organic potting mix and add a high concentration of peat moss to get the right balance between retention and drainage. Some experts recommend adding coarse sand or perlite to bulletproof your plant's drainage properties and keep it healthy. Moving on to the next question. How often should I fertilize my zebra plant? You can pretty much fertilize your zebra plant with a water-soluble product every 3 to 4 weeks. As with most plants, avoid fertilizing it during the cold season, since this period is not ideal for growth and nutrient absorption. Then we have, when should I report my zebra plant? This task is not so often. It could be done once per year, ideally during spring months. Repotting is mainly recommended to foster a new blooming wave in your plant, and to do so, keep in mind the following suggestions. First, avoid repotting your plant to a pot that is much larger than its previous pot, since they prefer that the roots are kept compact. And secondly, during the repotting process, make sure to remove the old soil mix from the plant's roots to enhance nutrient absorption from the new soil. Before moving on, let's talk about pests. See, my zebra plant was recently attacked by a pest, and in order to protect your plant from pests or get rid of any undesirable visitors like spider mites, mealybugs, or any other plant-sucking organism, the solution is pretty similar. The only thing you need to do is to mist your plant with a solution made of water and neem oil. Some others recommend rubbing the leaves with a wipe soaked with alcohol. You can use cotton buds as well to do this. And the water and neem oil mix has worked just fine for me, so I don't see any pest on the leaves anymore, hopefully. Now, last but not least, let's move on to the most popular topic regarding zebra plants, their flowers. Let's be honest and upfront. From what I have researched and seen, it's quite challenging to make a zebra plant bloom. I bought mine while it had flowers, as you can see here. Now they're gone, so recently I've been testing different methods to make it bloom again. However, the different techniques that you will need to follow may vary depending on the condition where it's your plant at. So if you have a zebra plant that hasn't bloomed yet, not even for the first time, then most experts agree that after 3 or 4 months of proper care and constant bright but indirect light, your plant should be properly stimulated to bloom. Once it finishes the flowering period, this is where I am right now, to be honest, it is suggested to cut the flower bract, as I did here, to increase the chances of a new blooming wave. We're gonna do this cutting right now. I'll show you. And since I am experimenting with these methods, I will keep you posted on what happens after a few weeks. All right, plant lovers, that's it for today. I hope this video is useful to grow your zebra plant. Post your comments and even suggestions below. I'm happy to check out what's working well for you so we can learn together. Please give us a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to our channel to help us continue this journey. Stay safe, and until next time, happy planting.